Executive Director Turnover, a Challenge for Not-for-Profits. Research indicates that a dramatic increase in the turnover of executive leadership within not-for-profit sector is upon us and growing rapidly. Due to the imminent retirement of baby boomers, many who founded their not-for-profit organizations 20 to 30 years ago, and competition for talent from other sectors, large numbers of not-for-profit executives have been leaving their current positions and will continue to do so in the next several years. This increase in executive turnover threatens the sustainability of not-for-profit organizations who are already struggling with reduced funding and other supports and puts them at enormous risk for poor performance and potential failure. Unfortunately, not-for-profit boards, particularly those serving small and medium-sized not-for-profit organizations, are not prepared to manage these transitions. In our many years of work with not-for-profit organizations, it has become clear that organizations with the most success have essential ingredients in place that become even more critical at times of transition. These include having a clearly defined direction. Everybody at all levels, including the board, understands where the organization is headed and where they fit into its success. Clear expectations of roles and responsibilities of the board, executive director, and all staff. Leadership team committed to the strategic direction with the ability to execute it, building on a foundation of trust, leaders understanding and using their individual and collective strengths. Organizational alignment. All stakeholders, including the board, executive, and staff, pulling in the same direction for the most efficient and effective use of all resources. And finally, highly effective communication throughout the organization. Great organizations know that you can't over-communicate, and they can find many ways to do that all of the time. In an effort to identify and understand the issues surrounding this significant trend in not-for-profits, a 2008 project cited in GuideStar held comprehensive interviews with executive directors, board members, and employees from not-for-profit community organizations in an effort to identify the reasons for turnover as well as ways to prevent it. The article states that nearly every interviewee cited unmet expectations and underdeveloped relationships as the key reasons for executive director turnover. Expectations. The most prevalent topic in the interviews was unmet expectations in an organization. This discussion was so consistent across roles and organizations that the authors believe it to be an industry-wide concern stemming from the ever-increasing complexity of the executive director position. You have to know more quickly. You have to be an expert in too many areas. Additionally, board and staff expect the new directors will come into a position with all the skills that they need. It's no wonder directors fail to meet expectations. Expectations change daily. The problem of unmet expectations goes both ways between director and board. When asked to identify the greatest challenge for not-for-profit executives today, one director named working with the board because there is a large disconnect in what they expect, understand, and want to do while on the board. One board member spoke of not only the need to clarify the expectations of the director, but also that of the board. The board needs to evaluate their role in the organization. Another board member stressed the importance of knowing their role. What is governance? Define it. Relationships. An executive director's relationship with his or her staff is equally important to tenure. Internal staff development was the most often indicated as the first key role a director must fulfill. One interviewee stated, "An effective director should always know what goes on, what's happening on a daily basis, but there is a fine line between awareness and micromanagement." Another one additionally said, "The understanding of the people working for you and their challenges is essential." Clearly, organizational success during times of transition lies with the synergy between organizational focus and the ability to communicate effectively across all levels of the organization. Both expectations and relationships are first and foremost impacted by the ability to communicate with all stakeholders, and most importantly, with staff and the board members. Understanding your individual communication style and the ability to interact with others is an essential first step in influencing expectations and relationships. If you are interested in understanding more about your communication styles and how your behaviors may appear to others, we invite you to take a free copy of the profile that we most often recommend and receive information on how to learn the most from your profile. Please click on the link below the movie.